Hey everyone, happy December. Here's a look at the 1 week weather outlook for the US. I'm going to be talking about three storm systems moving across the US, a pattern that looks a little more typical of La Nina. And before we get into that, I kind of want to wrap up what the month of November looked like. Now, we don't have all of the data compiled just yet. This is from NOAA's National Center for Environmental Information, but we have data through the 27th of November, and overall we saw temperatures above average for much of the US, including portions of the Northeast and Southeast. And in terms of precipitation, a lot of the Southeast was pretty dry, near average for kind of the Appalachians, and a little above average in terms of precipitation for northern New England, and then a little above average for portions of northern Washington and Montana. And of course, we saw a series of storm systems and atmospheric rivers for portions of California and surrounding areas that saw a good amount of rain and snow last month. And as I kind of mentioned, we are in this La Nina pattern. We're in a weak La Nina pattern, so NOAA has a La Nina advisory out. They're expecting La Nina to continue for about the next month before we transition to more of a neutral ENSO pattern. And while there's a lot of other factors that impact our weather, ENSO is one of them. And so far, we haven't really seen a La Nina-like pattern, but that does look like it's going to change as we go into later this week and next week. And that's actually good news because in terms of the snowpack out west, for our water, for skiing, we're seeing conditions that aren't so great. We're still early, but a lot of areas are at half or less of where they should be for this time of year. The exception is for some of the northern areas of Montana, especially around or maybe only a little below average. And then you can really see sort of the reflection of the active month of November for the Southwest, where across New Mexico, Arizona, and parts of Southern California, we have snowpack that is around or above average for this time of year. Again, still early, but I expect we're going to see a lot more improvement for areas of Colorado up towards Washington and Montana as we head into early and mid-December. Now, I mentioned we're looking at three storm systems. Right now, storm system number one is across the Four Corners region. We're looking at mid-level vorticity. So this is sort of the spin in the atmosphere. It helps us understand where the waves or troughs or storm systems are. And we can see that this storm system is going to be lifting across and into the Northeast into Tuesday. And then storm number two comes into the Pacific Northwest tonight and into tomorrow, digging into, again, the Four Corners region. And that's actually going to kind of phase up with this broader trough across eastern Canada. So it's going to bring more snow midweek for portions of the northern and central Rockies, but it's also going to bring another shot of cold air for portions of the North Plains, Great Lakes, and Northeast. And then as we head into this weekend, we sort of see this more active pattern. It's not necessarily one storm. It's more of an atmospheric river that sets up for the Pacific Northwest. And this sort of cold, moist northwest flow is going to help bring a lot of rain to the valleys and a lot of mountain snow from Washington east into Montana and down into Colorado later this weekend and into next week. But as we kind of focus first on this storm number one, as of Monday afternoon, we have a lot of winter weather advisories from the central Mississippi River Valley up through the Northeast. We do have winter storm warnings for portions of the Northeast where we're expecting heavier snowfall. And we also actually have some lake effect snow and lake enhanced snow across the east shores of Lake Michigan, across western Michigan. We'll see increasing south and east winds ahead of the storm later tonight, early tomorrow. Behind the storm system, we'll see increasing northwest winds. And we kind of look at the reflection of the surface pressure and precipitation. We'll see that one, we're going to see kind of heavier precipitation rainfall across the Gulf Coast. Could see a few strong storms today and tomorrow. And then we're going to see mostly snow, kind of a broad swath of 1 to 3 inches from Arkansas, Missouri up to the Northeast. And you'll notice as we go through the day tomorrow, you'll see these isobars kind of compacting. This area of low pressure deepens. And with that increasing intensity, we'll see heavier snow on the northern periphery, where we'll probably see more in the order of 6 to 12 inches of snow across portions of New England. And sort of that combination with snow and wind could cause some travel issues, maybe some issues to the electric grid. And another kind of component too is with cold air already sort of dammed up along the foothills of the Appalachians, we're actually going to see some freezing rain likely developing later tonight into tomorrow. It's looking probable of 1/10 of an inch or more. Areas of far western North Carolina, into western Virginia, and West Virginia itself up towards Roanoke and north later today and tonight. So when we look at the sort of the potential impacts of the storm system, the combination of heavier snow and wind could create some issues for, again, sort of the eastern slopes and leave the Appalachians down here and then into northern New England as well over the next 24 to 36 hours. And then we kind of look at storm number two, as I mentioned, coming into the Pacific Northwest later tonight and into tomorrow. And that's going to mainly just bring snow from the northern Rocky Mountains down into central Rockies into Colorado as we head into Wednesdays. I mentioned it's going to bring this front through, so some more snow showers, lake effect snow midweek with another shot of cold air. And what it's also going to do is this cold front sort of stalls along the Gulf Coast. The second wave, the second storm system is going to bring more moisture and it's going to bring another round of heavy precipitation, potentially localized flooding for areas across the Gulf Coast by mid to late week. And then storm system three begins to move into the area by Friday and Saturday. And really, that's going to look like kind of on and off heavy mountain snow, lower valley rain. And by the time we kind of get into this weekend and into next week, we can kind of see the initial storm one snowfall. And then some snow with storm system two, but really it's going to be storm system two and three bringing, multiple feet of snow for some of the highest elevations in the west. And again, this pattern looks like it's probably going to continue into next week with more snow for the western U.S.